Hello and welcome to the Molecule Pod, a podcast by Eurogas, where we talk about all things related to the gas sector. We have recently joined the Lights on Women initiative of the Florence School of Regulation as supporters. Lights on Women is a project aimed at advancing economically and socially inclusive energy policy and regulation. Other Eurogas members have already joined Lights on Women, such as Edison and Landwärme. So following in those footsteps a little bit, we think that it's a good initiative to support, and it really aligns with the views of our members. So today we have two very special guests for the podcast coming from the Florence School of Regulation. We have Ilaria Conti, Coordinator for Strategy and Development, and Tomiris Amirova, Project Associate. So welcome both of you. Ilaria and Tomiris are here to talk to us about gender equality in the energy sector. Just some brief data that's relevant is that according to the International Energy Agency, there are 76% fewer women than men working in the energy sector. In addition, wages for female employees are almost 20% lower than for male employees, and women are more likely to leave the sector for jobs elsewhere. It really highlights the need for initiatives that promote gender equality. Anecdotally, we do seem to be seeing a bit of progress in this area in recent years. We've noticed a steady increase of women in speaking roles, for example, on panels, and also hired participating in company activities. There is some movement, but it's obvious that work remains. So with that bit of introduction, let me turn to our guests. Ilaria, starting with you, what was the story behind the Lights on Women initiative? Where did that come from?
So, thanks very much for the invitation. It's a pleasure to share our story with you today, Dylan. So the story behind Lights on Women is a very, I think, intriguing one. First of all, we are very proud to remind everyone that this was born as a bottom-up initiative. We are very proud that the idea really came from two of our colleagues working particularly in communication and training courses, who really started noticing how, just like everywhere else in other activities and in general in the energy sector, as you rightly mentioned, there seemed to be a trend towards a greater representation of male instructors, male participants, compared to the one of women. And this was quite striking to them and to all of us, because this discrepancy did not really reflect the amount of interest that we would receive in our activities from women all over the world. We could notice that there was a sort of unfair representation, even in small activities like the ones we were organizing or participating in, like conferences, panel debates. So we thought, these women, there are women in the energy sector, they are just probably not visible enough. Let's try to do something to bring them to the light. And that's why we started already in 2017 with creating a greater awareness of the issue among our faculty, among our staff. We started working at initiatives that concretely could help. Some of them are, for example, scholarships. That's how it all started. But also we really wanted to go out and interview this women professional in the energy sector. And so we started with a blog with interviews, really trying to make women energy professionals better known to the outside world.
I like the metaphor there, shining a light on women and really giving them visibility. Let's talk about the LUCE Awards, which is another initiative that Lights on Women manages. What are these?
This is another initiative that we are very happy to share. So we started with the LUCE Awards in 2023, in line with the overall mission of the Lights on Women, to shine lights of women professional in the energy sector. Every year we celebrate the achievements of two outstanding women in the energy, climate and sustainability sector. And we organized two categories, one category which is emerging talent, and the other category is legacy women. And we were extremely lucky with the outcome of this of the competition, let's say. We received applications from several countries, even countries we would have not expected to be able to reach with our initiative. This is something that we want to repeat every year with the support of our donors. And so far, I have to say, we've seen quite a big interest in the initiative, and particularly we are very happy about the echo that this initiative is generating. It seems to go really across borders. The whole process is starts internally with the first screening of all the applications received by a committee of FSR colleagues. And then the vote is actually public. It's possible to contribute via our platform called the Energybase platform. So it's really a collective process where we are happy to be the orchestrator somehow.
I like what you said about it being both European but also global, reaching really all parts of the world to try and get this this bigger perspective. These awards take place in May. Is there any special reason that you chose the date specifically?
Absolutely, a very, very special reason. We intend to organize the LUCE Awards on the same day of the European Day of Light. Luce in Italian means light, so there is a strict connection. Of course, it depends really on the year. Sometimes the 16th of May, which is the European Day of Light, is a Saturday or a Sunday, and then we have to adjust. Next year, for example, we will have to organize it one day before. So it will be on the 15th of May, 2025. And we look forward to it. Everybody's invited, so there is no need for a special invitation.
That's really good. Another thing that you mentioned is the Energybase. What is the Energybase?
I think I can take that question. Thank you, Dylan, for your invitation. Well, I would argue that the Energy Base is our initiative with the largest impact. It's a database of female professionals working in energy, climate, and sustainability. And to date, we have 425 professionals registered. They come from all over the world. They have different areas of expertise. They have different years of experience. They come from different age groups. So you sort of, create this page where you write down everything about yourself. And the more details you provide, the better it is, because then people know what kind of opportunities you're seeking. So it's sort of your public CV, but especially for the energy sector. At the same time, for organizations seeking talent, they can browse the profiles of women, and then they can find someone who has the expertise they need. And the thing about this database is that it was proven that women are less likely to apply for jobs if they don't find that they match all the criteria that are listed in the job description. So if an organization posts their opportunity on the Energy Base, it's sort of a testament that they're looking for women, especially because they want to, have a gender balance in their workplace, which is super important. The wage gap EU-wide is 13%, but in the energy sector, you've seen that it's even more. And women have less opportunities in a male-dominated sector. They feel like they don't belong. So the reason for creating the Energy Base was to sort of show that there are opportunities for women.
That's a really helpful initiative. I think that an employer who is interested in maintaining a gender balance or promoting gender equality, this is a practical tool that they can use, a space that they can go to where they can actually receive some help in a way in achieving that goal, which is really important for our sector. And it's important for Eurogas as well as an organization to seek gender balance in our events and in our team here, our secretariat. So we've also taken a look at Energybase, and it's really comprehensive and easy to use. So these are all initiatives that shine a light on women. It's a good basic overview about the initiative, and I think that it would help then for us to get a little deeper into the topic. What tangible impact have you seen so far in terms of career advancement or visibility for women in the industry regarding regarding these?
We had tangible witnesses who have used Energybase and actually managed to get out of the shade, to continue using the metaphor, because they were invited, for example, to be part of a panel and then in a big conference. And then since they had this visibility opportunity that they didn't have before, then in some cases they even managed to get a job offer. The various initiatives do generate, I think, a virtuous circle, because even just by forwarding our newsletter to colleagues who may be interested in some of our activities, the extent of our initiatives expand. And as I said, sometimes it even goes beyond our own expectations. And this led to some very positive consequences. For example, we were invited by the European External Action Service to provide some training for women in Bangladesh. Or another example, we have now been contacted to be part of a European project also aiming to empower the future women energy leaders in Africa. And as I said, also the winners of the LUCE Awards become almost automatically testimonials of the initiative, and with their own network, they keep spreading the word so that hopefully more and more women professionals will be able to have access to these initiatives and to better initiatives for their own career advancement. I have to say also for Lights on Women, we also have record some interviews to outstanding women in the sector. The videos are not only about their own career path, but there's also a very human element in the interview, which I think always creates sympathy and empathy in the young women who watch these videos, and maybe they can follow the same path or a similar path, and in general enter the energy sector, because we know that sometimes it's more difficult for a woman to enter a sector where they don't see themselves represented enough. So this might generate the feeling that we are not good enough to embark into a specific project or a job, or even just a sector to a larger extent. So we want to avoid that, because we are strongly convinced that there is space for many excellent women in the energy sector.
I think it's very important to, as you say, humanize people. And just as we want to avoid women thinking that there's no place for them in the sector, we similarly don't want people to think that they have to be any certain type of person to enter the sector, or that they have to sacrifice something to get a job. But that doesn't always come across. So let's talk a bit about the role of organizations like Eurogas. What role can we play in advancing gender equality?
Huge role, I think. As I said, industry associations like yours are wide enough to reach really women everywhere in Europe and beyond, women who feel that they would like to pursue a career in the energy sector, but they are missing some encouragement, they are missing some ideas, some mentoring somehow. So I think they could find great inspiration in our activities. Statistics show that that women have slightly fewer problems in the private sector compared to the public sector when it comes to advancing, particularly moving to higher positions in their own career. In this sense, there is an advantage that would be actually something good to show that in the private sector there is an important attention to meritocracy. And also I think the organizations like yours give great visibility to such initiatives because they feel in line with the values that we share. So as usual, it's only by joining forces, by cooperating towards the same objective, that we can really obtain meaningful results. So we are very actually grateful for the support that is given by Eurogas, and we hope that more and more associations and partners will join.
I think that you've hit on something that seems very important to me. as somebody trying to learn more about this, is that it takes cooperation and it takes attention to these issues to really make changes and make progress in them towards the future. Let's turn a bit to the audience. Tomiris, what can our listeners and audience members do to be better advocates for gender equality and inclusivity in their organizations or in their daily lives?
It's an excellent question because change does start with certain people. It doesn't happen by itself. Lights and Women also started off as a grassroots initiative. And I think what the audience members can do is just start the dialogue in their workplace, start talking about inclusivity and what resources are there inside the organization to sort of work on this issue. And depending on the organization, that might look like looking at the data of how many of the colleagues are women or men and how many women are in higher positions in the organization, and sort of working from there, looking at the data and seeing, some problem points and trying to solve them. I think the issue is not that the organizations don't want to do anything, it's that they don't know where to start. And one suggestion that I have is looking at the equality platform for the energy sector. It's an initiative led by the European Commission. The platform has 2 meetings per year, and that is the space where organizations can share their best practices and, just share their experiences on what they're doing, what issues they're facing. And since it's specific to the energy sector, it's more likely that you will find a similar situation to yours in another organization.
That's a nice call. Some research into the equality platform as well for listeners who are interested in learning about best practices. I agree that is certainly a good way to get inspired and maybe learn how you can start to implement actionable kinds of changes in your own organization. Continuing with Lights on Women, how do you see these different activities, the database, the LUCE Awards, all of the other things that you're doing to shine a light on women? How are these going to evolve over the coming years?
I would say in general, we've seen progress, and this is already a fantastic result because we've seen more interest in our scholarships. Even in daily business, we are seeing an increase in the number of, for example, professors, female professors in our own faculty. And we hope that this will work as a model also to a wider extent to more departments in the European University Institutes and beyond, that they will take this as an example. We are seeing a different level of attention or the organization of specific events. We are seeing that there is at least an awareness that we need to keep gender balance when we send invitations to speakers. So the level of attention has increased. We really would like to get to a moment in time when it will be automatic to send invitations just to the best speakers, regardless of the fact that they are female or male. This would be our ultimate achievement. We are not there yet. Unfortunately, that's why initiatives like ours have a reason to exist. In general, the activities are evolving. Yes, we are always looking for new potential activities, for new ideas. But I have to say that we are very happy with what we have achieved so far. We are very well aware that that's not enough. So we keep the focus very, very high on all our activities. Perhaps, Tomiris, you would like to add a couple of words on the Energybase, because that is also an initiative which started from scratch and with really little resources, and we are seeing it growing day after day, right?
Yes, you're right, Ilaria. We are happy with what we have achieved as of now, but we also want our activities to evolve even further. And we've seen that there's growing attention, but even now, despite Lights on Women existing for so many years, there are people who just find out about it. And what we are looking for is to increase our outreach to sort of reach more women that might be in need of, say, the scholarships that we provide, or they would benefit from signing up for the Energybase and gaining this platform to sort of show what they're capable of. Same with our blog, and same with even the LUCE Awards. And however much we try to sort of promote what we're doing, there's only so much we can do. And actually, now that I think about it, that's what the audience members can do. One of the things, maybe if they're listening to this, they can visit our website. It's lightsandwomen.eu, learn more about what we're doing, and maybe promote it within their organization. If their colleagues sign up for the Energybase and for our newsletters, so that they know what we're doing, because we're always seeking new opportunities. We are organizing events. We are expanding our partnerships. So we are excited to see how the initiative will grow, because we really do feel that more and more people are interested in what we do and in inclusivity in the energy sector in general.
Yeah, I totally agree. I hear it more and more these days that people are trying to get involved and trying to figure out what they can implement in their organizations. And I would just echo all there as well to follow the links, follow FSR and the other channels of Lights on Women for best practice and for any opportunities to get involved as well. So wrapping up quickly, what advice would you give to young professionals, especially women who are beginning to enter the industry, maybe finishing their studies or deciding what to study?
I can start by with some recommendation. First of all, the energy sector is not an easy one, but also it's not as difficult as it may appear from outside. So the very first advice I would go to a young professional doubting whether this is the right place for her or for him is it is the right place, provided that you are interested, provided that you are ready to work hard and learn a lot from everyday's work, but also from the colleagues around you. And particularly, it's the right place for you if you commit to remain yourself, because this is very important. It's something that sometimes we tend to forget, but I believe that a real diversity can only be achieved if the people working in a certain environment, in a certain sector, remain themselves. If they contribute with all the peculiar aspects, all the peculiarities, the good skills that they have, they sometimes don't even know they have, but with the right encouragement, these skills will come to the light. So don't be afraid to make the first step, because the following steps will come almost naturally.
Fantastic. That's very inspiring, and a good quote at the end. Tomiris, do you have anything that you'd like to add?
Sure. I mean, I don't have as many years of experience as Ilaria, but what I would like to say, based on what I've seen from the sector, is, well, first of all, the reason we promote gender equality is because women are just as capable of doing anything as men. My main advice for young professionals would be, do not be afraid. You're very capable, you can do it. But also, if you want some guidance, I'd say don't be afraid to ask for advice. If you're a woman and you would prefer another woman to give you some advice, there's plenty of women out there. You can always consult the Energybase. You can look at our ambassadors of Lights and Women to seek inspiration. We see now more and more women having high-level positions in the energy sector. So I think they are also a great source of inspiration.
Great. Yeah. Also very enlightening from you, Tomiris, the importance of the network of other people who are out there and who can advise on any topic. I think especially the question of entering or not is something that that is very relevant for people, and just to know that they can make it, that they should do it if that's what they are interested in doing, and that if they need advice, that people are there to help them. So good. As a final question, let me just ask, as we always do, is there anything that we haven't covered today that didn't show up in my questions that you want to touch on? Anything that might have gotten left out?
Maybe one small thing that is always important to remind everyone. Lights on Women is a project for women, but it wouldn't be possible to achieve success if the other half of the world wouldn't contribute. Because I think it's very important to remember that men do play a key role in supporting gender equality, in supporting the advancement and progress in making any sector more just, fairer, and better represented.
It's such an important point, and I'm glad that you made it before we ended the podcast. Gender equality is not just a woman's issue, it's a human issue in a way. It's for everybody. And so, this podcast and the things that we're learning in it apply equally to men as they do to women, as we all really try to make the workplace and the sector more inclusive and diverse for everybody. So with that, I think we can wrap it up. That's another episode of the Molecule Pod. Thank you, Ilaria, Tomiris, for joining me today. It was a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you so much, Dylan. It was really great to participate in this podcast. Thanks a lot.
Thank you as well to our listeners for giving us your time. If you liked the episode and would like to learn more about us, follow us on LinkedIn. Give us a 5-star rating on your favorite podcasting platform so that others can find us. We really want to grow this channel and continue to discuss important topics for the gas sector. So keep an eye out also for our next episode. And with that, I've been your host, Dylan Porter. And until next time, bye.